6 days of pure magic. Human Design Rave Festival 2024.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Nice to be
Here we are.
Excited.
And welcome to the Human Design Rave Festival 2024. And
Yeah.
today we have a very, very special guest, our dear colleague from Israel. So, hello, Dvir.
Hello. Hi. I'm glad to be joining you. You know, I was a bit outside for some time, and that's maybe bring us to the first of the stories. You know, I was
First of the
yeah.
Yeah, please share it because I know Dvir for many years. We actually also met in the Aura and did some events in Israel. And yeah, your story is quite powerful because you went through quite a process lately. So usually we ask our teachers, please share your story with human design and what you're gonna do in the festival. But with you, it really feels like, yeah, let's just jump into really the story that you were just about to share.
Yeah, you know, I have my splitting my bridging gate on the gate of crisis. You know, it means, for whoever who doesn't know, it means that my mind think I need crisis to feel complete and whole, you know. So I got my crisis until I had enough, you know. And but I think you referred to the last crisis that was the challenge meeting the cancer, and it's coping with cancer, and it was exactly at the period of my life that I started flowering. You know, after so many years as being a projector and feeling like, is there a place for me in this world, in this life? And for many years, the answer was no. And slowly, and that's very interesting. The stories involved. I found my place, and it's about the change of the world itself to give a place to, and the development of human design, etc. So when I started to earn my bread with human design and feeling, being recognized, and exactly at that time I discovered that I'm having a cancer, and and at the beginning I thought it is nothing. I felt that was just a grace to to deal with whatever was left to deal with, to be more precise, to go for it because there is nothing to lose. There is a kind of euphoric sense that when I've been told that I have the cancer, and it said that there is many ways of dealing with this news. One way is to go into panic, and the other way is to go into euphoric state of no problem, and both ways are not facing the problem and not necessarily dealing with it. So I was quite euphoric, and I started to do with alternative medicine and all kind of stuff, and there was a crisis in the hospital, but I didn't want the treatment that they offered me. They really wanted to do a big operation and to take parts of my body and etc. And I felt a big no. Talking about inner authority, I felt a big no for it. And then they wanted to offer chemotherapy, and at the time I had a no for this too. So I started to do all this amazing methods and different things, and supplements and prayers and meditations and therapies, different therapies and healings. I felt, and I was going out of it. I got stronger, and I thought that's behind me. It is small on me. It was a kind of arrogance, a bit, to a bit thinking that who is the cancer to beat me, and I met my lover, my beloved, who I'm still with at that time, and I thought, wow, I'm just riding the tiger, and we spent the honeymoon of, after getting together in a romantic way for a few months, and then just a few months, and then the cancer came back, and it came back big time. He said, like, I will show you who is the boss here, and that was really it really put me on really, and I'm very stubborn. I'm a 4-1. I'm 4-1 profile is the most stubborn profile, and I was really like, I'm going to die, but it will be my way, So I was lying down in an olive orchard for hours, just in with the earth and with prayer, and I was sure it's just to direct me to find the power within, to the healing within, and I was reading many stories of people that did recover by themselves, many inspirational stories about people, they met God, they met this, and met all kinds of powerful and empowering experiences that really heal them or put them on the way of healing. But it didn't happen to me, and I was just slowly, I was just losing it. But I'm a 4-1, so I said, I don't care. If I die, I die, but it will be on the orchard, in the olive orchard. And I was really getting really close. I was so weak, and it was my girlfriend who told me, hey, this is crazy, I'm choosing you in spite of your situation, but you are not choosing life, and so tell me if you're choosing life, so I can really continue to be with choosing you. And at the meantime, it was together, I realized that it is a question if it is my way or the healing way. And I found that the healing way was to accept the chemotherapy. That was like a shock for me to accept chemotherapy, that I was so against it. And it was really, there was nothing to lose. I was in such a state that there was nothing to lose. And so I started chemotherapy, and it was all many surrealistic scenes, how I preserved myself in the situation to get to the chemotherapy, because that was the last chance, and not to go to the hospital because there was nothing left to do with me. So it was very surrealistic situation. I don't want to go into details because it's a bit, gross in a way. And so I did manage with breathing and this to keep myself until the chemotherapy is the last chance. I needed to keep myself alive for this, and it was not easy. And once I started the chemotherapy, immediately it started improving. It started to improve my situation. It really saved my life, the chemotherapy, and it was a long journey. It was a long journey, and my lesson, and my big lesson, I didn't meet anything spectacular. My lesson in all of it, and I had many lessons, because you have to dig out, wanting to heal it, to find what is the cause, what is the it's like the cancer is something that eats you from inside. So what it eats from the inside? I did so much work before human design, during human design. So what's there, and what's there left? So the big thing for me was helplessness. The whole situation just brought me into helplessness. It was that what was needed for me. And because I went through so many things, and I could mark a V, mark a V, done that, but that's ahead of the game, because some things they need time, and there was no other way to put my nose in few things, few emotional blockages that were there, to put my nose there, to feel it, it's a very simple thing. No, not everyone needs this cancer for it, but I need it. That was the only way.
Wow.
That was the only
So
way.
what's the conclusion? What's the conclusion you came out from that journey with?
Actually, the conclusion was really taking me from any or leaving me with the helplessness, leaving me with the sense of really that it bringing me back to the moment, bringing me back to the moment, back to my feelings in the moment, because there were things that I was not aware even that I'm avoiding. There are deep things, and especially because I can express myself, and I'm a warm person, so expressive, so on the surface you don't see it, and I'm very smart, so I can move around everything, it's like too smart for your own good. So
Yeah, can I share your body graph so we can look at your body graph and see your stubbornness in the way? Yeah, that's in there. When we, of course, yeah, also very divine throat. So you could see, and the fourth line in the personality, Earth,
yeah,
Sun, Earth.
the sun is on gate 31. Gate 31 is in the alpha, is the gate of leadership, and that's the sun is there, and the shadow of this gate is arrogance, because you see, you have a strong sense of patterns, and you see other people and yourself, you understand all the patterns, but you think that because you understand, you see the patterns, you are above it, but that's not the case. You are just you are inside it, just like anyone else. And that was and there was simply, it's very simple. There was nothing, wow, how it was few patterns of avoidance of feelings, of being in the moment, of not running ahead, and that's what. And the treatment was 3 years. My treatment was 3 years, because it was amazing, because they finished the treatment and then they said, no, we recommend for you to go extra 2 years with a not chemotherapy, but something much lighter, and that's immunotherapy, and that was amazing for me. It was like a nightmare scenario for someone like me to go every 3 weeks to the hospital to put the granula, for the treatment, the connection to the to receive the treatment through the blood and all this, and to do the inspection, which I still have to do. And so that was really keeping me in my helplessness. Every time I went to the hospital is to feel really helpless until what happened is that the life was taking over the illness. The life took over the illness. It means I accept my helplessness. I accept my helplessness, and in this I was like born anew. Just less glasses between me and reality. Just being more in the moment, just enjoy my limitation too, and just celebrate.
I have a question.
Yes.
About like maybe a little provocative, but anyway, yeah. About did you use PHS in your process? Did you follow your PHS? Like
yeah, that's interesting, a PHS, because actually I got cancer exactly when I was PHS fanatic. I got the cancer, and that means, and I tell you exactly,
you have quite you also have quite a difficult regimen, right? I mean,
yes,
it's first color, second tone. Is being a hunter and being like a mono is it's nearly impossible in our culture.
Yeah, it is. It is one thing at a time. One thing, and if you are really faithful to the letter, is really not to mix anything whatsoever.
So you did it.
I did it, and I didn't like meat. I never liked meat so much. Now I eat a bit more meat after the cancer, one of the changes. But as a child, I didn't like meat. As a child, to a non-veg family, I didn't like meat. So being a caveman on one thing at a time without meat, I really didn't know what to eat, because everything I eat, and I had a love-hate relationship with my PHS for 10 years, for 10 years, because I was doing it for a few months, and I saw, no, I was really losing weight, losing, and it was not like aligning myself to my supposed to be correct PHS. I was losing weight, and it didn't feel. So I stopped, and then I started again, and I knew that there was also something very true in the essence of it, but I needed to find how this truth worked for me, because it was not exactly as a recipe. It didn't work exactly as a recipe, but more as the frequency of what I eat. And so anyway, as a 4-1, I'm very, very much, this is the way it's written. That's the way Ra Uru Hu said it, and I'm doing it, So I did it, and I didn't like meat. So Ra speaks about this, that this is very nourishing meat for someone who eats just so he can have a nice steak, or something.
Also your 1949, which is also animal protein,
and it's a caveman diet. Yeah, it's called caveman diet, and hunter, not for nothing. So I started to eat raw veg. I started to eat raw veg, and because I like fruits very much. I love fruits. So I thought, wow, that's my way. This is my way. So I started to eat fruits and veggies, and I had, boxes of fruits and veggies and all kind of raw vegan, and I love it. But I was losing weight, and the winter, it was freezing cold, and I was drinking frozen smoothies, and that was where I went against my inner authority, because it didn't feel good. Eating this I felt I need something warm. It was very clear to the body that I need to cook something warm and something that is having oil, salt, something that will have more into it in the winter. And I didn't surrender to it. I didn't follow it. And I went with and some people, some therapists and nutritionists that accompanied me during my journey with cancer told me that was very detrimental to my body. This vegan diet, that my body was very weak because it was not heated enough, was not warmed enough during winter. And so that was the PHS was a big lesson for me. And I all my life I had a very sensitive tummy. And so part of this helplessness and I started to eat for the first time in my life everything, all the bad stuff that I never ate. And people say, now you eat, sugar is very dangerous. Cancer cells, they love sweet, they love sugar. So let's give them some, So I started to eat cakes and all this stuff and some meat and I felt I was finding some balance was back to me, some health sense to my open spleen, I learned how to and celebrating the moment, really accept this helplessness is very deep. This helplessness is very deep and is even deeper than following one's strategy and authority, but is really okay. You align yourself with the form, but still there is more helplessness to this mind, the mind that goes on and as a passenger, how I meet the life, and that's we learn in Rave psychology and all this, how to align myself deeper and the helplessness, let's stay on the surface because that's the most important. Is really the helplessness. It really goes deep because it's so hard for us to accept helplessness, and that's the first law of human design is the first step to transcendence is accepting one's limitation. So, but how deep?
For the first gate, that's exactly your grounding, your personality Earth.
Yes.
I have it in my notes, so I know very well what you're talking about. I'm your natural environment, actually. So.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, it's incredible. But I think it's also very good to give the message to those who are watching and listening that it's not just that the PHS itself is limiting, but it's also the way we understand it and the way we use it is in the way limited to our own ability to receive this information. And that's why for some people human design stays knowledge, and for some it's practice and life. And this is something that I myself teach my students and remind to myself every day in my own I would say experiment, but for me it's not an experiment anymore, it's more of a way of living.
Yeah.
By the way, how was your landing with human design? How did it found you?
That was it really I was all over the place, a bit like yourself, I'm a world traveler, and that's why I was involved with Osho work, and that's how many of Osho's people were involved in the beginning of the human design experiment, and some of them came, met me from Sedona, and he told me that there is something amazing. I was doing a course for a relationships, and he told me he liked me very much, the guide, and he said, no, there is something amazing, and we are talking on 23 years ago, 23 years ago. So there was no human design in the world. There were just few people, just. So he told me there is something amazing I want you to see, and he showed me this the body body graph on the computer, and it looked to me so complicated and so sophisticated, and I thought, oh, not again, some of those new age inventions. No, I don't want to see me. Just leave me in peace. I had enough. I really had enough. And but he didn't give up. He was really he was a projector, and he was a sticky projector. He didn't give up on me, and I took a session from him just to get rid of him. I paid him to hear him just to get rid of him, that he will leave me in peace, because I was in a very, very, troublesome, not troublesome, like in a crossroads, etc., moving from India to France to Israel, and what to do with my girlfriend and this. It was just was interesting. I told you the bridging gate is crisis, and so that's how I started. And it was, and from that on, and I found myself in Sedona. And a year later, I moved to live in Sedona, and there were many of first-timer human designer, many analysts and teachers living there. Marianne, Randy Richmond, who is not with us anymore, Chiara, many people, and Ra Uru Hu was there so that's, and I didn't come for human design there. I came for Osho Mystic Academy. That's why I came there. And I didn't last long there in the Mystic Academy. I didn't find it mystical or enjoying for me at all. And after I just found my ex-wife there, and we both left the academy, and I got totally involved with human design. And that's what I did in Sedona for 11 years. I lived in Sedona for 11 years. And then I was teaching in Human Design America. And after 11 years, I came back to Israel after over 20 years that I was not here in Israel. And
and then you started basically the first human design school in Israel, isn't it?
Yeah. And for many years, I was just, no one was having any appreciation of human design. And I used to be like an underground, and being a projector. So I used to do, before that, I was involved with Indian music that were also not popular in Israel at the time, and other things. So I just somehow, how do they say, somehow surviving, and then slowly in the last 10 years, human design started to pick up, and few years ago, in Israel, just before the cancer, I found myself suddenly being a small celebrity, Wow, you was there. Well, wow, like I was not I was not used to being popular in that sense, like successful, or someone who's and suddenly it became of value, the human design. So and then the cancer came, you know, then the cancer came. But yeah, it's part of the chart, you know, it's part of the chart to discover things. It's part of my journey, really, as a witness. Is in my notes, you know, I have the whole channel of the witness in my notes, and it's about the child that leaves home, and really travel around, and then get back and being accepted by his community, and tell the stories of the journey, etc. And the gate 41, you have the whole channel, gate 41 in my cross, you know, so that goes together with it's really this sense of the next experience. It goes together with my cross, the cross of influence, is the 31, 41, is the cross of leading us to the future through a deep attunement with the next experience, being on the edge. So not always for my own benefit. It's like people tell me, wow, you have a great life, you know, so interesting, so amazing, but I don't have any individual channel to make the most out of it, you know. In a more personal sense, was not easy for me to do the best, to enjoy the best of the interesting life that I had and have. Yeah.
Mhm.
So talking about your life and being a 4-1, how would you explain fixed fate, actually? How do you feel that it's coming up in your life?
Yeah, you are a 4-1 yourself?
No, I'm a 5-1.
Oh, you're a 5-1, all right.
Yeah.
Fixed fate is like a train, you know, it's like a train, and if you miss the train, it's gone. It's really powerful and fixed and very limited in the same. It's about being between two words. It's the only profile really that is between the left angle and the right angle, that stands alone between those people that always see things through their own process, through their own personal process, and those people on the left that they see life through their process with other people, that they're people person, that their very destiny and fulfillment involve other people, through with other people. And the other people that they see themselves, it's about the commitment to their own process, the purity of their own very process that's leading them. And the 4-1 is the only profile that is seeing those people, and it's a very unstable place to be, because you are not this and you are not that. You cannot be involved with your own process so much and not seeing that there are other people, but you cannot be people's person wholeheartedly and not seeing what is my process. So you are always like a bit here and a bit here, and I'm trying to be very fixed because of this, very clear, very trustworthy. Everything needs to be really solid. That's the word, solid. And I'm a solid person, you know. but I'm not flexible in a way. I can be, my mind is open, so I can really, and I'm very friendly, but there are things that is really, I cannot fit to any group of people as a 4-1. This is very, very powerful to any 4-1. They cannot fit to any group of people, because any group of people has some even very sensible and logical behaviors that they all do, that they meet in this day and this hour or whatever. And the 4-1 is like, no, but I'm not like this. It has to be that way. It cannot be that way. And it's always being judged if in a group. So it always, it feels it really smells the expectation to be something that I'm not as a 4-1. So it's really difficult for a 4-1, because you feel limited. You are very friendly as a fourth line personality. You're very friendly. You want to be, you really see people and you want to be their friend, and you don't want to disappoint them and all this. And at the same time, you're very fixed, and you cannot do what seems to be possible for other people. You need to be a lover, that's we say for all fourth line, but the 4-1 is really at the extreme of it. You really need to be a good friend with someone you want to be intimate with. You really need to know when you go to a town, to a city, that where are you going? What is your bridge there? You cannot just be a third line, flexible, always falling on your feet like a cat. No, but when I'm but when you are as a 4-1, and when I'm in my environment with my people, wow, that's very powerful, because then it's very admirable, because it stays. It's really, even as a projector, everyone can fall down, and the 4-1 is just going, and it's like getting locked on something. And now with the age, it's milder. It's a bit milder, the whole thing, but it's still there. It's absolutely there, 4-1. And yeah, don't lie to a 4-1, because it's very difficult for 4-1 to, he needs a solid ground. Yeah.
And what happens when you lie to a 4-1? Trust is gone.
It's a train. You might not see him again. It's a train, and I discovered this. It's going. It's really going, and that's part of the power that people admire or hate. It doesn't, but this is part of the power that is really going. It's my way, and I'm helpless. It's just going this way, and nothing I can do. And so it can be impressive, or it can be, if it's not correct, it can be destructive for me first. If I'm getting locked on something that is not right for me. And I forgot what I wanted to say. I don't remember. Yeah.
Wow, Dvir. So let's then maybe take our conversation to the festival, to the actual festival, and your offering there. It was quite interesting to discuss with you your offering, because as a proper, for one, you were very fixed, because what we are actually doing, guys, for you to know also a little bit the kitchen of the festival. is that we do have a vision, and the vision is truly to prepare ourselves as much as we can to unpreparable event here that's basically the future unfolds for us. So the mutation in 2027 are definitely the background frequency for the festival. But when we meet with teachers and we discuss their offerings, it's very clear for us that we are just establishing the foundation, and we ask everyone to bring their passion and what they love in every way. That, of course, will not cross paths here, so we don't have repetitions in the topic. And when I asked Dvir, okay, so what is your passion? Please share. You are very clear with what you want to do. Yeah, so please share it with us.
Yeah, I like the future. I always like the future, full of promises, you know, that not always been fulfilled. But the future is always fascinated me, and it's part of the sun. We were talking about the gate where my sun is activated, gate 31, part of the alpha, leading us to the future, the collective future, the collective us, seeing the patterns, where are we going and what is the next experience. And this is exactly, it's always fascinated me, and also in a mystical sense, and in my search that changes, you know, and human design really brought a total transformation on the spiritual story, on the spiritual understanding, from running after enlightenment and all this story of finding God is really, human design put it on a different platform, not platform, different paradigm, and sorry for my English. Yeah, many years now I'm talking mostly Hebrew, so I because I travel so much, even in Hebrew, you know, I invent words because I know them from few languages, so I change them, so the future is always fascinated me, and the future by Ra Uru Hu, with the vision of human design left to see, it was difficult to digest, the future of what Ra is describing, and it took me many years to start to feel it, because when he talked about those things 20 more over, but when I met human design 23 years ago, and it was like science fiction for me. It was really like science fiction, and I know it is for some people even today. And so it took me many years to start to see patterns, talking about patterns, starting to see that the patterns are really happening. Those are, I really can see it, and having a daughter on a autistic spectrum, and that's part of the understanding of the phenomena that we are going through in the way of this change in the chemistry towards 2027, the future. We're experiencing also the phenomena of autism, which is part of it, and part of the mutation, part of the side effect of the mutation. And so what is going to happen to us, and it's amazing times. We are living really in a really amazing time, and part of the name Ra Uru Hu is really closing of the doors, and that's what Ra said. I'm not here to open, taking us to the new era of human experience. I'm here to close the door of the human experience, at least as we know it, and that's really fascinating and difficult to digest, especially with Ra's shocking language, and to really digest, to make sense out of it, and talking about a new consciousness that is going to give birth out of us starting in 2027, through the awakening of the Solar Plexus, which is the emotional awareness that is really work in progress of transformation from being this powerful, intensive motor that we know that drive the whole human experience towards opening up and becoming an awareness center that has its core in opening up to the other in a way that we are not aware and are not never experienced so far, because we are coming and talking about as differentiated forms. We are one passenger in a body, only one passenger in a body, and we carry with us this long time dream of united, with being one, and all this, and human design telling us no, it's really coming, it's really where we are going to, but our part of the journey in our window of time is really to strengthen to the cell, the single cell of this unity, the self, the one, the separated, the illusion of separatedness, to really give it awareness, to breathe awareness into this separate awareness, living all alone in this body, being responsible all alone to this body, but our dream is to function from an inner sense of identity, to transcend this identity of just me, and so the new consciousness will be born with the new consciousness of operating from this unity, from this, and I will not go into all these details how but it will function, the very way of living and being will be through unity with other people and cooperation with other people on a level that we cannot imagine. According to Ra Uru Hu, we cannot imagine. We will benefit from this mutation. We will benefit, and it will bring the opening of the emotional center to be an awareness center, will influence us and bring us a great potential to be awakened, and hopefully less wars and less violence, but really evolution is taking us somewhere else, and that will be the consciousness that will be born out of us. And that's what I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to talk about the impact in a practical sense also on the body graph as we know it, and what the influence that will take place in the energy, the way we experience it in the world, in our life, in our relationships, and in the body graph itself. That's
beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yay.
Yeah, we're definitely looking at the 2027 mutation theme from many different perspectives during the festival. It's an underlying theme, so we're gonna deconstruct it for you guys. You want to be there?
Yes, yes. You guys cannot even imagine the level of material that will, to me, just from talking to teachers, I mean, what Dvir is transmitting now is way more than words, is that frequency that's alien to us. And just like Dvir, you were saying, right, is like, we cannot imagine what it is, but we know what it's going to be without being able even imagine what it is. So we know, but of course we don't know. And guys, you like, can you imagine all of that being under one umbrella brought to you so you can have like this how we say Swedish table, yeah, and of every possible taste of understanding, sensing the and knowing the system, human design system through so many teachers. And Dvir, thank you for bringing it, and even in this interview already giving a taste of what it's all truly about.
Of the
So
family
just
dish.
to finalize, yeah, the dish. Just to finalize, in the end, we really love to depart with having some kind of wisdom shared. So you would love to, what you would love to say is your final word for this interview, for this little journey we went through. What would be your follow up the wisdom that you want to leave our audience with?
Life is a miracle. Life is a miracle, and it's a one-time event, especially for for us in this body. It's a one life in the one-time event, and death can come, and it will come, and it can come at any moment, and we are not going to reach anywhere. And even if we grow and develop and transcend, still we are not going anywhere really, and most of us will not be enlightened. And so really take this moment and try to bring yourself into this moment, try to be and try to live and appreciate and be thankful for whatever you have, because that will make it grow. And cheers. Yes, cheers.
What a nice
Yay, thank
message
you.
for gratefulness. Well, thank you for bringing your uniqueness to the table of abundance, which this festival is.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Mhm. And thank you for sharing yourself with us. Yeah.
Yay. And see you very soon in the 17th to 22 January 2024. It's going to be amazing. And for now, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Get your tickets today. See you soon.